I've received a couple questions about moving keyframes and dealing with the timeline, so I just wanted to go over it really quickly. So you can see I've got this simple ball animation. It's taking 118 frames or so. So let's say I just know I need this to be a lot faster. So what I can do is you're going to hold Shift on the keyboard first, and then click and drag, and I'm still holding Shift. You can select your whole thing, one frame, however much of this you want. So now you can see that I've got yellow arrows. There would be one over here as well, and then there's two in the middle. If I just move the middle, it takes all of my keyframes and slides them. If I use the arrows on the outside, it scales all of my keyframes, and it scales them exactly the same proportion as they were before. Now the only danger with this is if you scale them, the exact keyframe that they might be on might be 0.6 of a key. So we need to right mouse click and go to snap whenever you scale keyframes, and that'll bring the key to the closest whole number. So now by doing that, you can see I've got the same exact animation, just much faster. Now, one other thing with Mike and Tina, let me just bring it over, it's in my downloads. Every controller, as you've learned, has its own timeline. So if, let's say, I created this whole animation where, whoa, I have separate pieces moving, you want to make sure that you've grabbed all of his controllers. So a lot of times what I do, especially if we're dealing with like a cycle or your walk cycle, I'll go to frame 1, I'll set him up to be in my first key pose. So we'll bring his hips down, you know, one leg forward, one leg back. Of course, you take a little bit more time with this, but I get him fully set, and then I click and drag around the entire thing and hit S. So if I then wanted to scale or move this keyframe, if I just grabbed the foot and I moved this, the foot is the only one that I moved, and if I click on anything else, you can see all my keys are still at frame 1. So that's why it's important that you select your whole character if you're scaling or moving keyframes. Okay? So again, it's just holding Shift, I'm still holding it, clicking and dragging on your timeline. This isn't going to do anything because I only have the one frame, but the middle ones move, so you can see my one keyframe went from 1 to 6, and then you could also scale using the outside arrows. The closer your keyframes are together, the faster your animation is going to be. Okay? So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a good weekend.